with 8 kids, Kate Gosselin does know all too well what it's like to have a full dance card all through her time on the dance floor. She's been balancing life at home with the spotlight of Dancing with the Stars, and we're going to talk to her and her partner, Tony Dovolani, in just a moment. But first, a look back.
The key to feeding lots of people is moving very quickly so they don't get grouchy.
Kate Gosselin is famous for taking on challenges head-on, and on Dancing with the Stars, she was no different, tangoing her heart out in one of the most star-studded seasons of the show. I talked to her just days before her dancing debut. What are you afraid of?
Well, honestly, my mind is willing to do it. It's just like making my body figure it out. That's the scary part for me.
Setting aside her fears, she came out swinging her first week on the dance floor.
You're very different than a lot of our other people who've been on the show because you're not a performer, you're not an athlete. So all of this, every single aspect of this is new to you. I really am impressed.
But the judges weren't always so kind.
The whole thing was too pedestrian. There was no passion, drama, intensity. It wasn't very good, Kate.
And the drama continued behind the scenes.
You can't quit. I don't get it.
Are you shutting down on me there? Why?
I don't know that I am.
You have put zero energy almost in it, and you're expecting results.
But Kate and partner Tony Dovolani were finally able to focus.
Yes. Did you feel the difference?
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't it fun when you tell me to do something and I actually do it?
You have no idea.
For the past 5 weeks, she's been performing in front of millions. But for Kate, it's always been her audience of 8 that matters.
This is the first thing that they absolutely live and breathe for. They count down the days till Monday.
I was scared to death most of the time to be out here. I'm sorry I'm crying. I'm a crybaby.
Right.
Thank you for believing in me, probably more than I believed in myself.
And Kate and Tony join us live now from Los Angeles. Thanks for getting up so early. And Kate, when Robin and I first got in this morning, we were both struck, and we were talking about that moment when you found out. You seemed so much more emotional than you had throughout your time on Dancing with the Stars. What was going on inside?
It was a great adventure. It was a great ride. It was exciting, and contrary to popular belief, I really enjoyed my time on Dancing with the Stars, and Tony and I had a lot of fun. I don't think you guys probably got to see a lot of that, but we laughed a lot of times until we cried, and I mean, I would roll on the floor laughing, actually. And so I was very upset. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to do more. I wanted to have the opportunity. At the same time, I knew it. I knew it was my day yesterday, and to be very honest, I didn't want it to be the rest of the people on this season. I wanted it to be me because they're so great, and it just needed to be me. It was still sad, all at the same time.
Yeah, we could see that. You did say you had a gut feeling that this would be your last night. Tony, talk about the roller coaster of emotions over the last several weeks.
You know, unfortunately, they only showed the emotional parts, but really what we had is a lot of fun. And there was a lot of moments where we laughed. Actually, almost every day we were rolling on the floor laughing because I'm a bit of a goofball, and she gets my humor, which doesn't really say much.
I never forget the conversation just the other day when I went, but, and he goes, well, I know. And I said, what did I just say? And he said, we were doing it to music and you wanted to finish regardless if you messed up. Like, he totally interpreted it.
You guys have both mentioned, the producers. Are you guys angry at the producers? Do you think they left too much on the cutting room floor?
I don't think I can ever be angry at the producers because at the end it was great TV. So they picked whatever they picked. This is why they're producers. I'm a dancer.
And you know, the truth of the matter is I'm very real, and I can't walk into a dance studio and practice and put on an act that I'm not really living. So if I was exhausted, if I was stressed, if I was tired, if I was scared, whatever, that's what you saw. And so that's what you saw.
Oh. Kate and Tony, this is Robin, and it's good to hear you, Kate, say that you, hi Tony, that you had a good time, Kate, because you're right. Contrary to popular belief, it didn't appear that way. So we're happy to hear you say that. And there was some stuff probably left on the cutting room floor, but what did make air, come clean with us here, Tony, because you were very upset. We saw that. I mean, for you, of all people, you're so kind and so gentle with your twins, to say you were going to quit like that. What was it that made you want to walk out? What were those contentious moments like? The reason for it?
It just, you know, my dad always told me to always take a breath and take a walk before you ever speak, because you might regret what you say. That was probably about a 5-second weak moment, which I had, and maybe I shouldn't have spoken, it's definitely a great example for my kids to see that they shouldn't speak when they're angry, and that was exactly what happened there.
That was just a moment where the pressure was rising. It was the day after we survived, I think the first week maybe, and we knew we had to lift our game big time. And so we walk in there, we're both tired, and it was just a lack of communication, or, you know, I was communicating one way, he was communicating another way. And it was like,
oh yeah, big time, baby, big time.
Wow. And it was like a moment, it was literally like a 5-minute period of time. And from that, we just went forward, and I think he knew better how to teach me, and I figured out better how to just shut up and learn.
But also at this particular point, I mean, I look at that moment, and that so does not describe our ride, you know, and if people get hung up on that moment, then they miss the entire journey of Kate learning how to dance from first footsteps. In fact, it almost felt like I was teaching her how to walk in the first time we were in the dance studio. So
literally,
if people focus only on that moment, then they completely miss our journey.
You made a good point,
I
Tony.
feel like going...
I think that's part of what endeared you to us, Kate, the fact that, you know, you didn't have any experience whatsoever where some of the other contestants did, and that, you know, you admitted how nervous you were, and we'd like to think that we would be able to get out there on the dance floor, but you did. Tony talked about his family. Kate, what about the kids? You said they lived for Mondays to watch. Was it hard for them to hear what the judges were saying about your dancing?
It actually was very hard for them to hear what the judges were saying. In fact, I got to the point where I would allow them to watch me to dance, but then they weren't allowed to watch the judges' comments, because Cara and Maddie especially got very hung up in what they said, and it was hard for them to hear negative things about me, because of course, in their eyes, I was the best dancer. So it was really hard for them. And you know, they don't even know yet, actually. They were asleep by the time I got back last night. So I'll tell them this morning. I did not allow them to watch the show last night because obviously I'm out here, and I already knew they're out here with me. And so I will tell them today, and they'll be happy that I'm going home with them, and that I'll be home more with them. So I think they'll be okay in the end. All
through this, you were fighting a custody battle in court with John. How much did that weigh on you?
Wow. Maybe you should ask Tony that question. That's why you saw me the way you saw me. It was emotionally very hard, very draining, very scary.
Basically, it was like a different Kate from hour to hour, depending on what was coming through the emails. And it's funny because one day I said, I'm wearing 15 different hats. Depending on which Kate shows up, that's the Tony I'm going to be.
But I really urged him not to say that, because I don't want to give the impression that I'm like multi-personality.
No. It was based on the emails you were getting.
Are you afraid you're going to lose custody?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's just that just to see that stuff going through the legal system, I feel like of all the things John and I did well, we divided the kids between us very peacefully and did it amongst ourselves. So when that stuff started coming through, it was just like, oh my gosh, to have to read this stuff even is so horrifying to me. And I just got through all that legal stuff, and into 2010, I felt like life was brand new, life was starting over, life was exciting, and you know, great for the kids and I. So it was just really difficult to have to kind of step back a couple steps and then have to dance 6 hours a day. And to be honest, dancing was so exciting and wonderful, but I remember telling Tony at some point not to be disrespectful, but my kids come first, and their future is uncertain right now. And dancing kind of feels like, what was the word I used? Like, so, I don't want to use the word not important, but it was just like it had to be second place at that time.
As it should be when it comes to family. I mean, that was we had a couple of times. This is part of the reason why we were practicing at our basement, because there was times where I even asked Kate, like, go ahead, go upstairs, spend some time with the kids, come back fresh, you know? So.
Yeah.
We promised we wanted to get, and thank you for sharing that, Kate. I know that was difficult. You've been very, I mean, even to show up this morning says a lot about you. Your viewers, your fans kept you in the show for 5 weeks, and we have a couple of questions from them. One is from Jody from Pennsylvania, and she says, was that a happy cry, referring to you crying at the end last night? Was that a happy cry that you are now going home to be with your children, and are you surprised you lasted as long as you did?
It was a mixed emotions cry. It was, I was sad that it was me, that I didn't get to go further, but I was happy that it was me and it wasn't anyone else. I said to the other people before we walked out on the stage, it needs to be me. And I had accepted it at that point because I knew it was me. And at the same time, my second thought was, oh, now I get to go home with the kids. So it was a mixed emotions cry. And yes, I am amazed that I lasted to just about halfway, right?
You did last half.
Halfway. And it is due to my fans and viewers that believed in us. And I'll take that with me always, that there's so many people out there that love and support me. I need that love. I need that support. I need to feel that.
Well, you got that,
So thank you.
A lot more. I wish we had more time.
We have so
for the
many more questions
but
from the viewers, but we're about to hit a computer hard out. That's what they call it here. We're going to have to say goodbye to you guys right now.
Thank you. Have a good day, you
Thanks.
two.